Okay, it's going to be live streaming on YouTube. Just give me a little time, please. Okay. So let me share my screen. So Sara, for now, your screen will not be able to, it's going to be stopping sharing your screen, but okay, that's it. So first of all, I would like to thank you to accept my invitation for being a speaker. Actually, this decision has been taken in a shortest period of time. So I plan to do it on behalf of Azerbaijani MCTs, and this is working time and not good time for them, but you didn't have, say, other time, but actually I'm organizing this kind of events at 9 p.m. by Azeri time. Oakland knows it. So once again, I would like to welcome each of you who has joined to our today's meetup session to Baku Power BI and the Modern Excel User Meetup Groups 20s session. Our Baku Power BI and Modern Excel User Meetup Group has organized roughly including today's session, overall 20 sessions, and we have had great people from different parts of the world. So like Kashper Kamenshek, I'm sorry, Chris Webb, Reza Dorani, Oakley Turvey, who's also taking part in today's meetup session, and others. And so today's speaker, I'm sorry, today's speaker is Sara Fennah, who is MCT MVP trainer of Microsoft products, who is going to talk about MCT benefits, which is very important topic really, because in my country, new MCTs just are appearing after taking some exams, but then they don't use all the benefits of this program. So from this point of view, I organized this meetup session. And thanking once again, I would like to thank Sara, who accepted my invitation and who is going to talk about these benefits. And by the way, I would like to take it an opportunity to tell you that our next meetup session is going to take place on December 16th with the participation of Liam Bastick from Australia, who is going to talk about cash flow modeling. And I would like to thank you once again for your attendance. Enjoy the session. See you on December 16th, 2021. So let me stop sharing, Sara. Stage is yours, so you may share your screen. Here you are. Good luck.
Thank you. Okay. Let me just find the right screen. Okay. Hopefully you can now see that the MCT benefit. Perfect.
Yes, we see your screen. Thank you.
Brilliant, thank you. So hello everyone. As Ugo said, my name is Sara Fennah, although I answer to anything polite. I've been a trainer for over 20 years and I've been an MCT for nearly 15 years now. And as you can tell from my kind of Hall of Fame, if you like, I do love the Microsoft certifications. I do love taking them. And my focus is the Microsoft 365 space. I did also recently become an MVP. If you want to know more about me though, please do connect to me on social media. Always love to connect to trainers, so please do look me up. My name is actually quite unique on LinkedIn and Twitter if you're looking for somebody who works as an MCT. I'm pretty much, I think I'm the only Sara Fennah out there. There's several Saras, but combine the two. Okay, so we're going to talk about MCT benefits today. And please, if you do have questions, please do pop them in the meeting chat as we go along, or come off mute and ask your questions as we go along. More than happy to take questions as we go through. Okay, so we're going to look at all of the various MCT benefits, and split this into the tools and resources, the discounts that are available to us, but also a series of useful links. And I do actually want to just share with those people in the meeting live today the slide deck that I have prepared. I'm sure we can add that to the video after the event as well for those people who are watching it later.
Okay. Yeah.
Because the reason I wanted to share that with you is there's an awful lot of links in here. So rather than giving you all of the links separately, you've got the presentation that you can download with all of the relevant links in. If you have any issues accessing that file, please copy the link into a private browsing window and then it will work. Okay, sometimes with the anonymous links in Microsoft 365, when you copy a link, you follow a link, it tries to sign in as you, and then it gets confused because you don't have access to the file as you. This is an open link. So it's always a good tip. If you've got an anonymous link, try a private browser. The image that I've got here is the MCT benefits that are available for you when you go to MCT Central. So if I just switch over to my web browser, if I'm looking at MCT Central, then I can find the relevant benefits document here. Now that document is a little bit out of date, so I've made sure that this slide deck has all of the most up-to-date information in it. Okay, so please do use both. Okay, starting with the Azure Pass. Now, for some courses you deliver, you need an Azure subscription. And as MCTs, we don't have to pay for a full Azure subscription ourselves. We can use an Azure Pass for each course, which gives us a certain amount of Azure credit. These are being gradually phased out, but as an MCT, they are still available to us. Okay, and if I just click onto the link here for the guidance to start with, okay, you'll see that there is a whole set of guidance on how MCTs can use passes and how Azure passes are used in learning. Now, Microsoft are trying to phase these out because they have been misused by people in the past. So when you register for an Azure Pass as an MCT, please do be very careful to make sure you only use it to prepare and deliver your training course. Okay. How we request the Azure Pass is we click onto the Azure Pass page and then you request it here. And I don't want to switch profiles. I sign in with my MCT linked email address. That's really important that you use the same email address that's linked to your MCT. Okay, and then you can request an Azure Pass. You'll know if you need an Azure Pass for the course because it will be in the trainer prep notes, and I'll show you how to get those as we move through. So that's the first benefit that we have. As an MCT, we also have access to a series of different software and services, including the My Visual Studio, which gives you $150 of Azure credit for the year. Now, if you don't train Microsoft Azure, you might wonder why that's of use to you. And as a Microsoft 365 trainer, I actually use it for the add-ons, for the extras. So personally, I have Azure Sentinel running in my tenant. So my MCT benefit helps subsidize that service and other services that I run, which means I've got the full range of products for demonstration purposes as I move into the Azure space, backing up the Microsoft 365, as you do in some of the courses. And we get that from the My Visual Studio subscription. And you follow the link to the My Visual Studio sign up. Okay. And again, I'm not going to switch profiles. The profile thing is because I have lots of different Office 365 accounts. So I use different browser profiles to be able to keep track of those different accounts and keep them separately. So I don't want to switch profiles. I'm going to tell it not to ask me again. And again, I would sign in. Okay. Having one or two issues with my internet connection at the moment. It'll get there. Okay. We'll try it a second time and I bet it'll work. It's a new PC and it's been difficult and I don't know why. There we go. Works this time. Okay, so we've got the Azure Credit that we can activate from here. And as you can see, we've got various different subscriptions. Now I do have a Microsoft 365 developer subscription for an E5 license, but not all MCTs get that one anymore, unfortunately. It's only available with certain qualifications. And those were the other notes that I had on that slide. So just jump back. So you've got to have either an Azure DevOps subscription, Azure Developer Associate, Azure Security Engineer Associate, Azure Solutions Architect Expert, or the Microsoft 365 Enterprise Administrator Expert, Modern Desktop Associate, Security Administrator Associate, and Messaging Administrator Associate. Interestingly enough, the Teams Administrator doesn't count in that list. Okay. So it's an interesting one, and it is an issue that a lot of the regional leads have been debating with Microsoft over the years to try and get us this benefit back for all MCTs. But unfortunately, it's currently limited to just those exams. Not a lot we can do about it, but apart from take the exams, which don't cost you as much as everybody else once you're an MCT. So once you become an MCT, one of our benefits is the reduced exam costs. Okay. Obviously, the most important benefit for us is access to the course materials, because Microsoft produced several official courses, and as an MCT, we can deliver those courses. Which courses we can deliver depends on which certification you have. And we can check that in the MCT Central. And I should have put that link on this deck. I will make sure that it is added. Okay, but if you go to MCT Central and we look at, there it is, the courseware title plan. This is the document that tells you which certifications you can deliver. Now, with this session being streamed on YouTube, I'm not actually going to open that document today because there is information in there that is confidential to MCTs. Okay, so I'm not going to open that, but as an MCT, you can sign into MCT Central, again, using the account that's linked to your MCT subscription, your award, and you can access that file, find the course you're interested in delivering and check to see if you hold the certification and the qualifications required to deliver that particular course. Usually, it's the exam that matches the course you're delivering. So if we're talking Microsoft 365 Expert Administrator, we need to hold the Microsoft 365 Expert Administration certification to deliver those two courses that lead to that certification, the MS 100 and the MS 101. Okay, so that's an important document to keep a check on. It does get updated once a month with new courses coming out, courses being retired, changes in certification, changes in requirements. Usually it's updated around about the 28th of the month. So there should be a new version up there now for the November update. Although we've just had Thanksgiving in the US, so it might be a couple of days late this month. Okay. So once we know which courses we can deliver, we need to get hold of the training manuals. And as an MCT, you can actually access any of the training manuals across any course. So you can find and read the manual even before you take the exam as an MCT. And we do that by going to the Coursework Marketplace. And when you get to the Coursework Marketplace, you can sign in. Okay, if you don't already have an account, then you need to register, and please sign in with your MCT login account, okay, your same email address. Okay, it's really important that you use the same email address that you're registered with as an MCT. Okay. And then what you can do is search for the course that you're interested in here, and you can go and find the manual, and then you're entitled to an MCT copy. Okay, there'll be a free copy you can add for 0 cost. Now, I'm actually signed in here with an account as a learning partner. And as an MCT, we can register to become a learning partner. And therefore, I can actually purchase the materials I can purchase more than one copy of the materials because I can purchase it for delegates and deliver the training directly. Now, currently, Microsoft are not charging, hence why the price is 0. Okay, they're not charging for materials as part of their COVID-19 response. Okay. The fact that I've logged in as a partner also means that I can access and purchase online labs, and I'll come to the 3 online labs providers and how as an MCT we can get access to those in a minute. Okay, but as I say, as an MCT, we can download those manuals. Now, once you purchase your manual, you get a code for the manual, and then you go to SkillPipe. And you add a course and enter your code, and then you can you get the manual to read, as I've got 1 or 2 in here that I can read, and I can drop in to that manual, and I've got the full course manual. As MCTs, our access does not expire to these manuals, whereas our delegates' access only lasts for 3 months. But that's just the same manual as the delegates get. We also need other materials to deliver from. And that's where this second point comes in, the Learning Download Center. That's where we get the PowerPoints from, the trainer manuals, the trainer prep guide, and quite often other materials as well. If you have any troubles signing into these services with the Microsoft account that's linked to your MCT, then please do try them in private browsing. Okay, they are notoriously fussy. If your computer remembers who you are, it likes you to regularly clear the cookies before you sign in. So if you have any issues, please do just first of all try them in a private browsing window. The other thing with the Learning Download Center is it can sometimes be a little bit difficult to download the documents. So do go and check the FAQs at the top here. There is help on switching between the download manager and just using your web browser download as normal. Okay, if you have difficulty downloading, switch to the other method. Okay, so if I search in here for that MS030, okay, I can find a course here in the Microsoft 365 space, open it out, and you can see that I've got the change log, the PowerPoint presentations to deliver. I've got the trainer PDF, which is a full PDF copy of the manual, and also a trainer prep guide. I do need to remind you though, as an MCT, one of the things we signed up to when we signed our agreement is not to share these materials with anybody. Even if you know somebody else is an MCT, you shouldn't be sharing them with them. You can get them, you can help them download it, send them the right links, but you should not download things for them. If they don't have access, then they need to resolve that with the MCT support team rather than you helping other people. Otherwise you can be in breach of your own MCT qualification, and actually they can remove them, and Microsoft are clamping down on this, so please do be careful with that for your own benefit. Okay, so as I say, we can download all of those files. You simply select the files you want, add them to the downloads queue, and then go up to your download queue. And I'm going to ignore that because I've switched off the Learning Download Manager because it was causing problems. But then go and download each of these files. And if you're doing them manually, download them one at a time. Okay. And this is where it proves it's going to be difficult because it's now not going to ask me where to save it. So it's actually not down. Oh, I might be in luck. There we go. So now I can save that to my computer. Yeah, and choose where I want to put it in my downloads folder. There we go. Okay. So I can access, in fact, in the Learning Download Manager, in the Learning Download Center, I can access any course, even if I'm not certified to deliver it. Okay, so if you're interested in learning a new skill, you can go and find the materials for that course and use it to help prepare for the exam for yourself so that you do become certified to deliver that course at a later date. I haven't really got time today to go into how to become a learning partner so that you can directly deliver the official courses for your own customers yourself. Okay, we have to work through learning partners. Those are approved training companies. If you want to deliver the courses without working through a learning partner, then as an individual MCT, you can register as a partner, as a company with Microsoft, and then become a learning partner. There is a video on YouTube done by one of the regional leads in the UK who's been a regional lead and our guide for a very long time, Ed Baker, and he's got a very good video on how to become a learning partner yourself. So have a look for that as well. Okay. The other thing is the labs. We don't go to the Learning Download Centre anymore and download the virtual machines for the training courses. When we deliver these official courses, we work in virtual labs. And as an MCT, you can gain access to those labs for your own preparation, practice, and course delivery for yourself to use for free. Okay. If we're delivering a course directly to customers as a learning partner, we have to pay for our course attendees for those labs, but as a trainer, we have free access. And there are sign-ups on here for each of the companies that offer that service. Skillable or Learn on Demand is the official one that Microsoft state we should use for readiness for our own training. However, the other two, Go Deploy and Extreme Labs, all offer the same service. Most trainers have their personal favorites. I have to confess, I'm a big fan of Go Deploy. I know other people prefer other services. They're quite similar, to be honest, in terms of their functionality. But do have a look at those before your first course. Get used to how the labs work. And this free access as an MCT is really helpful. You'll need to give them your MCP ID number and probably as well a link to your transcript in order for them to give you the access to that. Okay. So that's how I gain access to all of the materials for the courses. And as I say, I personally really like looking at the course materials if I'm thinking of picking up a new topic and delivering a new course, assuming I'm picking a topic for a course that's already out. Okay, if you decide to go with a certification or a course which isn't yet published, then it's a little bit more of a challenge. You've got to find your own information. I've recently done the Teams troubleshooting exam, and there is no course for that at the moment. So I had to work that out myself, just going through the exam objectives and finding the references to prepare for that particular exam. Okay. So Coursework Marketplace for your copy of the delegate manual, Learning Download Centre to download a PDF copy of the manual, the PowerPoints and all the materials for trainers, remembering not to distribute those. If you want to deliver your training yourself, it's becoming a Microsoft Learning Partner, and the labs at the bottom here so that we can prepare for and work through the exercises before we deliver the courses, or to learn for ourselves. Never stop learning. Okay, the next benefit that we have is we have the Microsoft Store. Now, as soon as you sign up to be an MCT, you can register, you can purchase the welcome kit for free. Yeah, this welcome kit. That is a certificate, a sheet of stickers, and a little wallet identity card saying how long you've been an MCT for. And then once you've been an MCT for 5 years, 10 years, 15, up to 25, they offer different packages of a t-shirt and an extra certificate, or 15, I think, is a jacket. Mine's still on my 10 year. I think it's March. I'll officially be allowed my jacket. And I can't remember what the 20 and 25 year ones were, but 5 and 10 are t-shirts. Okay. We can also, from this MCT store, purchase branded merchandise if you want to. Okay, so I can go shop MCT merchandise, and I can purchase MCT branded pens, jackets, shirts, and t-shirts as well. Okay. Those all ship from the United States. So if you're interested in that, it's good to get together with a couple of other MCTs and do a bulk order together. It's usually slightly more cost effective as well. Okay. Exams. Yeah. You want to be proud to be certified. You've got to do the exams. Okay. And as an MCT, we get a discount on our exams, at least 50%. Some of them you get 75%. I've actually got a couple of conference vouchers there as well for 100% off. I tried to book one the other day with my 100% off and it didn't work. So I didn't book the exam because I was short on time. I've got to go back and do it later this afternoon. The Teams voice engineer is my next target. So, but as I say, we are entitled to a discount. When you go to book an exam, the discounts will be listed there for you. You simply claim it and continue the booking. If there's a discount that's not showing up there, then you can enter your email address and click on check eligibility, and it will do another check against it. So if you've signed up for a conference with a different email address, you can pop that in there to check and pull it into your exam account. Okay. Those are for the MCP exams, so the Microsoft Professional exams. If you're looking at doing the Office exams, the MOS exams, Microsoft Office Specialist, you are entitled as an MCT to one free exam per year. Now, it's an exam voucher. The exam centres still usually charge an administration fee on top. My local exam centre here charges me £10 administration fee to redeem my voucher. Okay. They make absolutely no money on that. So I usually book 2 exams at the same time. One I pay for, one I just pay the exam fee. But if you're interested in that, you can contact the MCT email address here, the MCT MOS email address. Give them the details about yourself, your ID number, what exam you want to take, and they'll send you the voucher. If you get the MCT newsletter, and if you don't, my final slide has an email on how to, a link on how to sign up for it. But if you get the MCT newsletter, you'll also come across, you'll also get notification when new beta exams are released. So this is before the exam is released, we have the opportunity to take it and test the exam. And as trainers, we can sign up for a reduced or free exam if you take it in beta. Okay, now there are limited numbers of those, and again, it's a voucher that's applied to your account. So when you come into here to book it, once you've signed up, you'll see your beta voucher listed on the exam page. It used to be that there used to be codes we could put in to redeem the discount. They're doing a couple of different things now with those because, again, they were finding a lot of people were trying to abuse that access, unfortunately. So again, please do jealously guard your own discounts for your exams to make sure we keep on getting that benefit. Beta exams are normally free for trainers. Unfortunately, you don't get to know straight away if you've passed. You usually have to wait 2 to 3 months to find out if you've actually passed. I think it's easier to get a pass in a beta because they don't count all of the questions in the end, depending on how many people get all of the questions right. So if everybody gets a question wrong, it doesn't count towards the final mark. So I think sometimes it's slightly easier. So I'm always keen to take a beta exam when I can fit it in. Official practice tests are written by MeasureUp. Now, as MCTs, there's a couple of things here. Now, you can contact MeasureUp, or if you're interested, get in touch with me. I can put you in touch with somebody at MeasureUp. And as MCTs, we can write those practice exams and they pay for you to write the questions. Okay. But once the practice tests are published, we also can get a 40% discount on those tests as MCTs. So you've got the link here, and it's also on the benefits page. You go and purchase the voucher from their site, and then you pick which exam you want the practice test for. Please do check that the exam you're interested in has a practice test before you purchase this voucher, because it's only valid for 6 months, and some practice tests take quite a long time until they're published from when the exam is first released. Okay, as I say, if you're interested in writing for MeasureUp, writing questions, get in touch with me on social media and I can put you in contact with the lady at MeasureUp who organises trainers for writing questions. Books. I like ebooks. They don't weigh me down as much. I can carry all of my ebooks on my phone all the time. But if you want a book or an ebook from the Microsoft Press books, then as an MCT, we get a discount on them. Okay. All purchases are in US dollars, so you do need to have a mechanism for paying for them where you can purchase things in dollars, which I know is sometimes a challenge if you're using a company to pay for your books. But apart from that, it's a website. You pick the book you want. In the checkout, you put in the discount code, and then you can purchase the book. Again, they do ship from the United States. So please do factor in the fact that there might be an extra cost on those as well. Okay. Now, the last benefit I really want to talk about, and I'm going to spend more time on this than any of the others, is the metrics that matter. And Microsoft have, over the past year, 18 months, said that they want to work on ensuring Microsoft certified trainers remain the best quality trainers available for Microsoft courses. And one of the ways we do that is we respond to feedback. We can only respond to feedback if we've got feedback. Okay. And metrics that matter is a feedback system where Microsoft have built evaluation forms specifically for the Microsoft courses. Okay. I personally feel that it won't be long until we hear that metrics that matter is going to be mandatory for renewal, that you will need to have at least one course in metrics that matter of a satisfactory level of feedback. So I think we used to have to do this. When I first signed up to be an MCT, all of your feedback had to be in metrics that matter. You had to achieve quite a high score as an average to renew. And I get the impression that's going to come back. So it's a good idea to think about getting metrics that matter set up now and start using it for your course evaluations so that you're ready when it comes round to renewal time. I'm not going to go into a great deal of detail because there is a really good video and introduction PDF as well, guide for how to use metrics that matter as an MCT. Okay, so I'm going to give you some pointers and get you started. Okay, but this image and the notes on this slide are a link to that guide. Okay, So here we go, metrics that matter guide, how you sign up, how you use it. So we've got the enrollment, yeah, how you manage your profile, etc. Okay. So that guide is really useful. You sign up, as it said in the guide, at the enroll screen. Okay. Once you've signed up, then you can simply create your classes yourself if you're working directly, or your learning partner, the training company that you work through, will create the classes in the system for you and then add you as the trainer to it. Please do make sure you've signed up before you accept classes that are going to go through MTM, metrics that matter. Otherwise, you won't be able to be allocated to the class by the learning provider. Okay, now let's see if I can find my MTM signing. So one thing I didn't check before we started today, this is a relatively new computer and I can't remember if I've signed into MTM. I must have done it. It's remembered me. Excellent. Okay, now one of the challenges I have as an independent trainer is that I have multiple metrics that matter identities. Multiple training providers have set me up on here because in the past, the training provider used to set you up. So if you do have multiple logins, please do be careful when you sign in, which account you're connecting to. As an MCT, it should always go on the instructor org going forward. So you as the instructor yourself. And then once you're in here, it's really quite simple. So you can go to your class list and you can see all of the classes that are allocated to you, or you can go to manage classes on the right-hand side here, or you can create your own classes. Yeah. Manage courses are if you want to set up which courses you actually deliver rather than an individual instance of a course. Okay, so I can go to manage classes and I can then filter for the different courses that I've got to deliver. Now, none of my currently scheduled courses in the next month are Microsoft official courses, so I haven't got any in here at the moment. But they do list in here when you've got them set up, and you can see all of the details about them. Once the course is run, you then go to the reporting up at the top, and you can pick up ready reports, which are pre-configured ones, or you can go in and set your own up. So if I go to ready reports, there are these pre-configured reports that we can look at. For a single class, you can do the instructor class summary. For an overall view of your performance, you can do the instructor performance report. And you can drop into those and view them. Once you go into them, you can also schedule those to come out to you as an email with the instructor class summary immediately following the closure of the feedback report, so usually a week after the course. And instructor performance, whenever you want it. I've got it set to coming in once a month. Okay, and then I get an email once a month with a summary of my report. Okay. If you want to dig deeper into any of the classes that you've had or comments that learners have made, then you can use the other reports, or if I go back to the Go back. It's much easier to go back to manage classes, back to the home page that way. If I go into manage classes, then each class is listed in here and I can go into that class and view the actual detail rather than relying on the reports. And then you can get a lot more detail from those. There are lots of other places you can get support as an MCT. Okay, if you use Facebook, please do join the worldwide Facebook group. Okay, if you're on LinkedIn, there's a LinkedIn group. Okay, there are several different websites. The MCT Community site was actually set up by the current regional lead for Italy. And that is really good at getting this sort of information about what the benefits are, what's changing. Because to be fair, although MCT Central is where we're supposed to get our information from, it's not really kept up to date. Now, MCT Central is supposed to be moving to Microsoft Learn. Okay. And that will be really good because we'll have the full kind of tech community experience of the news boards and the blogs, and it'll be much easier for the Microsoft staff to keep it up to date for Microsoft Learning to share information with us as trainers. I'm really looking forward to that change, and we can follow the blogs as well. Okay, the Learning Download Centre, the Coursework Marketplace, and are ones we've talked about. Signing up for the newsletter. If you don't get the MCT newsletter, please do sign up for that. That's really important. Otherwise, you won't know what's going on. If you have any issues with your access to any of these tools, yeah, contact the MCT support. Okay. What we can do in here is we can come in, sign in again with your MCT linked account. Always use that account. And then you can ask a question in here, or if you spot anything in here, then you can pick up the comments in here and ask the questions. You'll notice all sorts of things in here, including comments and feedback on the different courses as well. Now, we can also get to that from MCT Central. We've got the certification forum where we can post questions, comments, queries about certification. We've got the courseware about the courseware. You've got the cafe where just general questions. And then all of these links down the right-hand side in this blue box here as well. Currently, the thing that's kept most up to date is the MCT program announcements up at the top. Okay. And that is the most up-to-date piece of information. We've been and looked at metrics that matter. I actually forgot GitHub. So many different places we can go for information. But Microsoft Learning publish the questions, the activities that come into the labs on the courses on GitHub. Now, please don't share those directly with your students. I know it's open, but the lab providers do adapt the guidance specifically to their environment quite a lot. So it really is worthwhile asking your delegates to use the instructions in the lab themselves rather than pointing them at the GitHub repository. But if you notice an error in the labs, in the instructions, then go to GitHub and submit a comment, and then the course authors can fix it. Okay. I mentioned the store for your branded t-shirts. By the way, if you do order from the store, your free certification pack or your free award t-shirt, and they try to charge you import duty, please refuse the delivery. You should not have to pay import duty on those free items. If you buy items, yes. Okay, but on free items, you should not have to pay import duty. Okay, you refuse the delivery, contact the support for the MCT support forum, and they will help you obtain that without. Okay, there is a community on Microsoft Learn, which is all about training. However, I have to say, unfortunately, we do get a lot of questions popping up in there that have nothing to do with learning whatsoever. But the Microsoft Learn community is really helpful for learners. And this is exactly like what we're supposed to be getting as trainers, which will be a closed community just for trainers. Okay, so that's a good one to follow. And that's also where you'll find the Microsoft Learn blog, where they make announcements about new courses once they're released. As I say, as a trainer, we can have prior knowledge of that, really, from MCT Central by using the courseware title plan. So following the blog is a really good idea, because then we know when things have been released. Last but not least, if you want to get involved in helping Microsoft maintain the certificates, writing exams, writing official content, please do join the SME database. They use that to find contacts in the MCT community who can help them when they come to revise, write exams, update booklets, all of those sorts of things. So do sign up for that, and do make sure that you keep on top of what you can offer in that database, so you're part of that SME, subject matter expert database, because that's where they look for people to help them. Okay. It's a lot of information and a lot of links. Hopefully that helps. I noticed we've got one question. Have we got any other questions?
Okay. Thank you, Sara. Thank you for your informative and very wonderful session. Of course, I have prepared some questions, so I would like to ask this question to you. So first of all, I would like to begin with metrics that matter. Mm-hmm. Is that mandatory to input all the attendees of your course, or your class, which you register on a metrics that matter system? So is that mandatory to input all their names or not?
What we do is we give the attendees a link to the feedback form, and then they fill in the feedback form. So we don't register their names. Okay, it's up to them. Now, for them to fill in the feedback form, they are required to complete their name. Okay.
And for example, there are 45 people in your class, but not everybody is answering. I mean, is delivering their feedback, right? So in this case, what to do?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Okay. So,
as long as you've got at least one piece of feedback for one course,
okay,
and that reaches the required standards, that counts as feedback. Now, ideally, we want a lot more, because one person giving feedback on one course doesn't actually tell us if we've done a good job, and we want to do a good job. but you don't need everybody.
Okay. And so is there any requirement from number of points, for example, to prolong your MCT? I mean, for example, I have taught to, let's say, or 90 people in a year have delivered their feedback through links, class links, right? So will it be useful for prolonging my MCT for next year? Or I must take some other exams? What do you think about it?
As long as your exams remain valid, as long as your qualifications remain valid and they meet the qualifications needed to become an MCT, then you have enough, your qualifications are fine. Then it's a matter of delivering some training in the year and having feedback from that. At the moment, it doesn't need to be in metrics that matter. It's easier if it is, because then it's automatically picked up by the renewal tool. When you come to renew, it automatically picks up that you've got sufficient feedback at a sufficient standard to renew, but you don't have to have it in there. You can upload other feedback as well at the moment. But you need to train at least one course in the year and still hold valid certification in order to renew.
Okay. And one more question is related to learning download center, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure that I correctly pronounced or not. So I know that I myself have downloaded a lot of information from the system, including PowerPoint presentations and other PDF tutorials, etc. I would like to clarify, am I allowed to use these materials during my, say, training sessions or not?
You can, so the materials from here, from the Learning Download Center, we can download in the delivery of those, we can use in the delivery of the courses for which they were written.
Okay.
Okay. So if I go, I mean, I don't teach Azure, but say I was teaching AZ 700. If I downloaded these materials, I can use them to teach AZ 700. I can't use them to teach anything else. Okay, so I can't use the slides for a different course that I build myself.
Okay.
And I can't share those materials with my trainees.
Okay, got it. And it is the same for, say, coursework materials. I mean, for example, if I teach Excel, for example, I found some materials, I mean, class tasks or classworks. Okay, so I can also use them, right? Or
there's no Microsoft official materials for the Office courses. Okay, so it depends on the license for the materials that you have, what those are, but those Microsoft don't provide official materials for Microsoft Office to MCTs.
Okay, I don't want to argue with you. If I'm not mistaken, there is in Russian, but in Russian, you know, advanced features of Excel. Actually, I found this course and loaded to my skill pipe. Yeah. And I think, you know, it's really a question for me whether I'm allowed or not, but it's in Russian. So
there is an advanced features of Excel, right? The course materials in the Courseware Marketplace that have these green covers. Okay, those are, you'll see when you go in to purchase them in the Courseware Marketplace, those are tagged as community courses. Okay, And those aren't written by Microsoft, so it depends on what the license is on that course. When you're looking at it in SkillPipe, okay.
Yes.
Usually at the beginning, here in the table of contents, or somewhere at the beginning, it will tell you what the license is for that. But that again is a free copy for you because you're an MCT. It's not one you're supposed to share with your delegates.
So anyway, it's better not to use. Okay, I got it.
What I should do is I can purchase it for my delegates if I'm a learning partner, and that's how I share those. So anything from the Coursework Marketplace should be purchased for use by people attending the course. It's only free for MCTs for their own use, not for course delivery.
Last but not least, I would like to ask a question related to a regional lead position. So what are the criteria? I mean, for example, for my country, which way to follow? Actually, I have applied for a regional lead position, and I got an email that they were going to inform on December 6th. I cover all the expectations, but not one. They require 1 year MCT, right? But I'm 9 months MCT, so 3 months are missing. So what are the opportunities, or so what to do to be selected for this position?
Well, I'm maybe not the best person to ask because I've actually never been a regional lead myself. The regional lead post is awarded every 2 years. Right. Okay. There are a different number of regional leads for different parts of the world, depending on how many MCTs are in that part of the world. Normally, they ask you to have at least a year of experience. So you've gone through at least one renewal, because obviously to support other MCTs who are going through the process, it's really good if you've done it yourself. As you mentioned, we're currently in the process of Microsoft doing the applications and awarding new regional leads for the 2022 start. Okay, so 22 to 24, because it's a 2-year post. Okay. And they did put out on MCT Central the application process, etc. I've never been involved in the selection. As I say, I've never been a regional lead, so I don't really have any inside information to give you. But if you're not successful this time, keep renewing and come back in 2 years' time. That's all I can say.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
But they are, I mean, as a regional lead, what I want from the regional leads that I interact with is I want them to be available. I want them to be knowledgeable about what's going on in the community. I want them to share information when they find it on the various social media channels. And I would expect when they're looking for who to appoint, that's the sort of behaviours that they're looking for in somebody, to see that they would be a good go-between between Microsoft Learning and the MCTs in their country and region.
Yes, exactly. Actually, once again, I would like to thank you, Sara. To gather all this information, I contacted roughly more than 10 MCT regional leads from different parts of the world, related to metrics that matter and other system. So it's very good really session, and I will share this session with, I think there are 15 or 16 MCTs in Azerbaijan. I will share with these people, and I think and strongly believe that they will also find this information very useful. Once again, I would like to thank you for your time, for your wonderful session. At the end of each session, I'm just taking a picture, if you don't mind, So I also kindly ask people to turn on their cameras. If they turn on their cameras, I will take a picture. If not, anyway, I will take any. No
Even
problem.
if they don't want to be on camera.
But I'm sure that Oakley survey will turn on. And I was right. Okay, so let me. Okay, so just a minute. I'm sorry.
Everyone's smiling frozen.
Yeah, smiling is good. Yes, Mehriban is also turning. Yes,
Yay.
good. At least one face.
Yay.
Attendee face, which is also good. Mr. Sultan Ali, Allah Veren, if you have opportunity, please turn on your computer. If not, I'm just going to take my picture. Just a minute. It will take just 1 minute. Okay. Mehriban, please. Yes, that's good. Okay. So we are smiling. Once again, Mehriban, I don't see your face. Please. Yes, now it's good. Yes. That's good. I'm very sorry.
Perfect.
Perfect, yes. Really, that's perfect. Okay. Yes, good. That's very good. Okay, so Oakley, if you have something, or Mehriban, please tell us or not. I would like to say goodbye.
The only thing I would say is that I know that last year, in fact, earlier this year, I think in April when I renewed my MCT, it was free of charge.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a COVID response. So I'm not sure how long that's going on for, but if you're not MCT, it's worth getting on board now anyway, because you might be able to get on for free for a year. And equally, if you're coming up for renewal, don't put it off, because if it's still free, what have you got to lose?
Yes, and it's quite expensive. It depends what part of the world you're in. It's slightly different. Yeah. But the free MCT is the end of Microsoft financial year currently, the renewal, which is to the end of June next year.
Cool.
Okay, the Microsoft financial year starts in July. Okay, so it's free renewal till the end of June, and the learning materials also are free to the end of June as well.
The moment. Unless we have another couple of years of COVID, it might carry on.
Well, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, and the same. Also on the MOS exams you were talking about. We're a centre for providing exams, and we're doing them online at the moment. So they're running an exam from home scheme.
Yes,
and so they can all be done remotely.
Yes, I understand that Certiport are due to review that at the end of this month.
They are. It's only been extended until the end of the year, and so until the end of December. And they said there's no guarantee that it will be extended beyond there, but there's every likelihood it will be.
Yes. So, yeah. Which makes taking the MOS exams much easier.
It does, and it's also much more convenient because you can stay at home rather than having to travel to a centre, and you can be more comfortable.
Just clear your desk.
Yeah, absolutely. And be prepared to have someone like me watching you over Zoom.
Exactly.
I'm trying not to laugh with some of the answers people give.